Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code. This is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Tuesday the 27th of the 7th, 2021. Time is 0440, 20 to 5 in the morning GMT. Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, yesterday then, Monday, we had a positive opposed driver in the pound at plus 121. Front and back door flows mainly coming out, the dollar at minus 100, out the yen at minus 56, and the euro was the positive rock at plus 35, activity plus or minus 156. Intra-week then, this is from Monday, yesterday open to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a negative unopposed driver in the dollar at minus 123, no backdoor flows this time. The opposing positive flows mainly coming out of the pound, so going into the pound at plus 109, into the euro at plus 12, and the yen was the positive rock at plus 2, activity plus or minus 123. So right then, so over the week so far, we've had dollar weakness to the exclusion of all else, and it's basically been going into the pound complex plus 109. Intraday then, this is the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago. We've got a positive unopposed driver in the yen this time. No backdoor flows, the opposing negative flows mainly coming out the euro minus 25, out the dollar minus 22, and the pound is the negative rock at minus 13, activity plus or minus 60. Excuse me. What's going to knock it about? Right, so let's have a look. Today, Tuesday, we've got US durable and capital goods orders. Tomorrow we've got AUD CPI, CAD CPI, and the Fed's FOMC rates decision. So that's where we are. So there's some quite large events coming up. Right, so we'll get rid of these and have a look at the flows in the Asian session. See who's stronger and weaker, and then move on to the asset classes. So let's have a look. Right, so what do we got? We got euro. We've got euro is weak, except against the dollar, the AUD and the NZD, which are weaker. The yen is strong across the board. The pound is strong, except against the yen, the CAD and the Swiss. The Swiss is strong, except against the yen and the CAD. The CAD is strong, except against the yen. The AUD is weak, except against the NZD, which is weaker. The NZD is weak across the board, and the dollar is weak, except against the AUD and the NZD. Right, so what have we got? We've got yen strength across the board, and we've got New Zealand weakness. So fairly typical risk off scenario there. And if you look at the Asian session flows as well, you've got the yen is the unopposed positive driver. That's one of two things. That's either the start of a move towards yen positivity, or it's the peak of it, and we're going to get a reversal. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Right, so let's have a look at the flows in terms of the asset classes. So just get rid of this, and then we'll do the final analysis. So we've got US dollar index. Right, well, the US dollar index basically it's broken, and it's come back. It's 0.17 from the high, so it's 17% effectively from our modelled high. Gold, so in theory a bit of dollar weakness should it help gold. but gold doesn't really want to know at the moment. It's looking like that. It's 0.5, so it's half marks from the high and the floor. Oil did a big break, it did a big drop, and now it's back to 0.31 from the high. So it's recovered a fair bit, but it's about a third down. Right, Wall Street. Wall Street had this this look about it. It had like a double top, then it broke the double top, and it's here. So it's basically at this sort of double treble top sort of range here. So it's been higher and it's come back a little bit, but it's on this resistance support. S&P basically had the break, and it's come back a little bit, and the tech is very similar likewise. So equities are sitting at very high levels. US 10-year, this is the bond price, remember. You've got this, it had a break, it had a second break, and it's come back to about here. It's 0.28 from the high in terms of price. So the price went up, yields came off, and it's now come back a bit in terms of price. Yields have stiffened up a little bit, and it's 0.28 from the high. The Bund, which is the European equivalent, effectively, did this break in price, and it's come back a little bit. So they've got a similar look to them, except arguably the US yields are slightly, in modelling terms, are slightly ahead of the European yields at the moment. Copper, remember, had that sort of long period of chop, and now it's really steaming now. It's 0.5 plus 0.5 from the modelled high, so it's gained 50% effectively from its modelled high. So from there, really. And US steel has been dirging down, and it's now coming back a bit, but it's 0.42 from the floor. So it's still soft, but it's working on coming back. Right, so let's just have a look at the final analysis then. So we talked about a little bit of a shift in trades yesterday. So if you want to know the exact details, have a look at yesterday's briefing. But basically we added pound, Swiss, and we took out AUD dollar and NZD CAD. So we're looking at we've got this key event. We've got this FOMC rates decision, and the dollar index has basically come back a bit. It's looking like that. The euro's been soft. The yen and the pound. The yen, if you remember, the yen was strong a couple of weeks ago. It came off a little bit, and then it's strong again. Last week, if you look at the intra-week flows, basically you've got this yen weakness creeping back in off the back of the equity transmission, and now we're starting to see a little bit of a pause in that. And the Asian flows, as we said, the yen is the unopposed positive driver, so that's interesting. And equities are pumped right up there. So you've got a risk-off feel to it. So it's likely you're going to see a bit on the face of it, you're going to see some yen strength, but we think they're going to have another push. So there's a big question mark here, but we think that the yen could well come down again off the equity transmission pump. So I think they're not going to be shy on pumping equities up a little bit further. And the pound is the beneficiary of a lot of these flows, because if you've got flows coming out of the yen, out of the dollar effectively, because the dollar's very pumped, they've got to go somewhere, and you're going to get backdoor flows into the euro. So you're going to get euro up to a certain, pound up, yen down, and dollar down. If that scenario pans out, depending on the noise and the short-term moves. So that's where we are. We're just going to bash on with our trades and see where we end up as we run into the Fed. So hope that was useful. See you again tomorrow for the daily briefing. Thank you for watching.